Hey guys, welcome to our video this week. This week we're going to be talking about how to get your friends into Warhammer Underworlds, if they don't play already, obviously. One thing that I find, especially when I start a new game or I find a new game that I'm really excited about, I can be really excited about it, but I also need to get, my friends and family and different people excited so I get to play and enjoy it as well as them. And if you're the only person playing a game, you won't be playing it for long, let's be real. You generally play what your friends play. Before we dive into the video and more of the specifics, I do want to say a giant thank you to everyone that subscribed to our channel, because this week we hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a huge milestone for us. I thought it would take like 12 months to get there. We're obviously covering a very niche game, and I wasn't sure, people would really be interested. There was a lot of content out there already, but you guys have been amazingly receptive to us and given us some very positive, amazing feedback. So big thank you to you. We would not still be doing this if you guys weren't subbing and commenting and giving us all the props that drives us to continue this content. Anyway, let's jump into this week's video with our first point. Our first point is a very simple one. Do not force people to play Warhammer Underworlds that aren't genuinely interested in playing it. You might love the game, you might be sprouting its glory everywhere, but the person that you want to play is not also keen to give it a go. Don't play it with them. Now, there are lots of ways you can get them interested in the game. The best way is to find I'd say a gateway game that is similar to Underworlds that they enjoy. If they're a big board game player, maybe they like games like Gloomhaven or Rebellion. Look at things like variable player powers or the grid-based movement of Warhammer Underworlds. They might really like the connection there between the board games they already love and Warhammer Underworlds, and they might really want to give it a go after showing them those mechanics. If they're a Magic the Gathering player, maybe consider looking at the deck building and the cool ways to build out your objective decks and then your ploys to support them. And if they're a wargamer, show them the minis, show them the awesome boards and how everything looks together once you set it up. Show them how compact it is, how they can take it and play a game over lunch, and show them the dice rolling and the cool mechanics there. And that might be their gateway into it. What it is you've got to figure out what they love about playing board games or war games or Magic or any other card game and try and connect that to Underworlds. And once you do that, I'm sure they'll be interested in giving the game at least a little bit of a try. So they're interested, they've called you up, they said, look, I really want to give this game a try. Well, how do you make that first game amazing for them? Well, the first thing is simplify the rules right down. Unless they're super deep into deck building and they're talking to you about that aspect, build their deck for them, choose their warband for them and set it up that way. Maybe the board alignment's straight on, maybe deployment's really basic. Don't spend too much time going back and forth, get them into the game. And the core of Underworlds is moving minis on a table, rolling dice and scoring objectives. Keep the core around that. All those little extras that complicate it, get rid of it. Because if you're overloading them with rules, they're going to forget about all the fun they could be having and just stressed out trying to remember all these little things. The second point is you need to let them make decisions. If you're telling them what to do, they're not playing the game. You can suggest, maybe you consider these 3 things. Look at all these cool ideas I have here, but do not tell them the best play. Let them make that decision on their own. Let them roll the dice and get that kill on that model, and they take the model off the board and feel like they've done something on their own and not because you've told them to. If they're playing and they're not making any decisions, then you're not actually playing against them. You're playing against yourself. You're just telling them what to do, and that's not fun for them. The next point is to choose warbands carefully. I very strongly suggest picking a hold objective warband and an aggro warband for someone's introduction game. It teaches them the various play styles of the game, gives them 2 opposing styles, and shows how they can both win the game. If you want to have fun, I suggest giving them the aggro warband. It's really satisfying killing models and having them take off a table. Also, objective warbands kind of control the pace of the game, so if you suspect a bit of a blowout, dice rolls aren't going well, you can pull the horse reins back a little bit and settle down a little bit. I would suggest, though, if they really like the whole objective style, if you sold them on that, let them play what they love. But if they don't mind, give them the aggro warband, let them tear you up and kill all your models and have a great time of it. My next point is very simple. Let the rookie win. It seems simple, but make sure when you're playing your first game of Underworlds with someone, they win the game. If you smash them, they won't want to play again. If you beat them once, you get fun for that evening, you kind of enjoy it. But if you let them win and you have a fun game of it and there's cool mechanics going on, they'll want to come back for more. I would suggest, at least for their first game, just make mistakes here and there. Don't score your objectives. If you have to stand on 3 objectives for supremacy, maybe don't. Maybe stand on 1 or 2 and then let them kill you off them. Let them take that first victory. And in the first games, as they're learning the mechanics and understanding Underworlds, dial back your power. Pick those warbands that aren't very good. Eyes of the Nine have a lot of dust on your shelf. Get them out, play them on the table, and let your opponent have a bit of fun playing a very strong warband like Morgox or something like that. Let them have fun, have some tough games to start with, challenge yourself to make a deck that can beat Morgox, And then at the end of the day, when they're finally invested in the game, they've bought in, you can start slowly ramping up your decks. But it doesn't stop there. If you own everything in Warhammer Underworlds and they've just joined the game and they've got the Diachasm box and maybe a warband or two that they like, make sure when you're building a deck, you're not including more cards than they have access to. If they've got a base set and 2 expansions, then maybe you should only build your decks with the base set and 1 expansion. Think of it that way. If you have fun, close games, eventually they'll get so invested to the point where you can have very serious cutthroat games, but you have to ramp up there. You can't get there quickly. So you've got them invested in the game. I don't know how long it's taken you, but good on you. They've bought maybe a box set, maybe a few warbands to play with. But when you're now meeting up for your regular games, consider doing so in a public space. Obviously, we are in a very serious pandemic right now, and you shouldn't be meeting up when it's not safe to do so. But once it is safe, go out to your local game store and play there. It might be awkward for you both to get to, but what you can then do is start posting to Facebook groups for Underworlds in your local area. If you're in England or Australia, there's groups for those. Post you're doing a meetup and invite people along. Once you're done with the meetup, take some photos of playing the game. Over time, what will happen is people will start turning up. It'll be like 1 or 2, just random one-offs. But this is how you build a local scene. And what's important for you playing Underworlds is to build a scene if you want to play it long term. Because if you only have one other person that plays it, then as soon as they're kind of sick of it or they find something new and exciting that they want to play, you kind of leave it behind. Whereas if you've always got new people coming through, you'll enjoy the game for a long time. Our group, for example, this time last year, 12 months ago, we had 4 people showing up to a local game store every week to play. And at the time, it was great. 4 people was a lot. We got lucky with our starting point. But before we closed up for the pandemic, we were having 14 people turn out. And all we did was post on our local groups that we were doing this meetup regularly, posted photos of people playing and having fun, and made new players feel as welcome as possible. So consider doing that if you want to build a local scene. Obviously, though, you can play at home whilst the pandemic's on. Be safe, obviously, that's number 1. But once we've all opened up again, consider playing in the store. Anyway, that's our video for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please tell us what you want to see as far as tactics videos for the next foreseeable future. We're going to be stuck inside at least till the end of August, potentially longer than that. So I'd love to hear your ideas. All our tactics videos so far have been just suggestions from people on what they want to hear from us. So please let us know. Also, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It's the official YouTuber thing. We're 1,000 subs now, so we're official YouTubers. Need you to do that at the end of every video. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with us, and we'll see you next week. You're shaking your head?
No, one, I'm shaking my head because I'm thinking how many games you let me win.
No, I've never let you win.